Four realities that you must come to understand. 1. Anger is the part of yourself that loves you the most. It knows when you are being disrespected, neglected, and abused. It tells you that you must change your surroundings and find a place where people will truly appreciate you. 2. Anything that annoys you is teaching you patience. Anyone who abandons you is teaching you how to be independent. Anything that angers you is teaching you forgiveness. Try to think of everything as a learning experience. That's how you grow. 3. A person can make you feel more in 2 months than someone else could in 2 years. Time means nothing, and character means everything. 4. Accept people as they are, but place them where they belong. You are the boss of your own life. Hire, fire, and promote accordingly.
One morning, a boy was walking along a beach covered with thousands of starfish that had been washed ashore by the tide. The boy began picking up starfish, one by one, and throwing them back into the ocean. A man approached and asked, "Why are you doing this? There are so many starfish. You can't possibly make a difference." The boy paused, looked at the starfish in his hand, and threw it into the water. Then he smiled and said, "I made a difference for that one." The man stood quietly for a moment, realizing the truth in the boy's words. He, too, began to help, throwing starfish back into the sea. The story of the starfish reminds us that even small actions can have a big impact. We may not change the whole world at once, but we can make a difference, one step at a time, for someone or something. Your past does not define your future. Every mistake, every setback, and every failure is just a chapter in your story, not the whole book. You have the power to turn the page and write something new. Don't let the shadows of yesterday dim the light of your tomorrow. The scars you carry are not signs of defeat, they are proof of your strength. They show that you've been through battles and you've come out stronger. The only thing that truly defines you is the choice you make today, right now. You are not your failures. You are not your regrets. You are the possibilities of what you can become. So, rise above the past, embrace the present, and step boldly into your future. Your best days are still ahead. A father gave his son a very old watch and told him, "Go to the pawn shop and see how much they offer you for it." The son returned and said, "They offered me $10 because it's so old." The father then said, "Take it to the jewelry store." The son returned and said, "They offered me $100 because it's a rare piece." Finally, the father said, "Now take it to the museum." The son returned amazed, "They offered me $1 million because it's a valuable antique." The father smiled and said, "The right place will recognize your true value. Don't stay where your worth isn't appreciated. Find the place where your value is recognized." The lesson: your worth isn't determined by the opinions of those who don't see your true value. Surround yourself with people and opportunities that recognize and appreciate what you bring to the table. A young man was walking through a marketplace when he saw an old, dirty stone lying on the ground. Curious, he picked it up and showed it to a merchant. The merchant shrugged and offered him a few coins, thinking it was just a common rock. The young man then took the stone to a jeweler. The jeweler's eyes widened as he examined it closely. "This is no ordinary rock," the jeweler said. "It's an unpolished diamond worth a fortune." The young man was stunned. The same stone that was worth mere coins in the market was now priceless in the hands of someone who recognized its true value. The lesson: you are like that diamond. Your value doesn't change, but how people see you depends on their perspective. Don't let those who can't see your worth define you. Find the places and people who recognize your true value and let yourself shine. A young man found an old, unopened letter in his grandmother's attic. The envelope was dusty, sealed, and addressed to him, but it had no date. Curious, he opened it. Inside, he found a note that read, "You have a gift that the world needs. Don't waste it." The hardest roads lead to the most beautiful destinations. Perplexed, he asked his grandmother, "Who wrote this? And why was it for me?" His grandmother smiled and said, "I wrote it when you were born. I wanted you to know that no matter how tough things get, you are meant for something great." the young man kept the letter close, realizing that his challenges were not barriers but signs that he was on the right path. Every time he faced doubt, he'd read the letter, reminding himself of his purpose, the lesson. Sometimes, the toughest roads are signs that you're destined for something extraordinary. Don't let struggles stop you, let them guide you to your true potential. Chris Gardner was a struggling salesman, barely making ends meet. He had invested all his money in bone density scanners, which he thought would sell quickly, but they didn't. His life took a turn for the worse, his wife left him, he lost his home, and he was left alone with his young son. They spent nights in shelters, bathrooms, and on the streets, but Chris never gave up. Despite the odds, he pursued an unpaid internship at a prestigious brokerage firm, working tirelessly during the day while studying at night. He faced rejection after rejection, but he kept pushing forward. After months of struggle, Chris finally got the news he had been waiting for. He was offered a full-time position. His perseverance had paid off, and he eventually became a millionaire and a successful motivational speaker. The lesson? No matter how tough life gets, never lose sight of your dreams. Obstacles are part of the journey, but perseverance, hard work, and faith in yourself can turn even the darkest times into a success story. Your current situation doesn't define your future, your determination does.
Never blame anyone in your life. Good people give you happiness. Negative people give you experience. The worst people give you a lesson. And the best people give you cherished memories. We are often let down by the most trusted people and loved by the most unexpected ones. Some use their words to make us cry. Others ignore our faults and make us smile. Some leave when we need them most, while others stay when we ask them to leave. The world is a mixture of people. We just need to know which hand to shake, which hand to hold, and which hand to ignore. After all, that's life. Learning to hold on and learning to let go. Finding strength in your own company and peace in knowing not everyone is meant to stay forever. In the end, it's not about who comes and goes, but about how you grow from each encounter. If you're not following us, you may never hear my voice again. But if you are, congratulations, because you are growing every day.
Eagles can live up to 70 years because they are mentally strong. After 40 years, every eagle has a difficult choice to make. The claws that used to be razor sharp are no longer fit for hunting. The beak that was once a lethal weapon is now bent and blunt, and its glorious coat has become too thick to fly with. The eagle has two options. Either it dies, or it goes through a painful change. This painful change means that the eagle must go to the mountain and crush its beak on a rock until it falls off. When the old beak falls off, a new beak grows in. With the new beak, the eagle rips out its claws and new ones grow in. Then it plucks out its feathers so that new ones can grow in. This painful journey lasts 150 days. But after doing this, the eagle gets a new life. Sometimes we need to get rid of our old self in order for a new and better version to emerge.
A young boxer dreamed of becoming a champion. He trained every day, perfecting his punches and footwork. When his first big fight came, he felt ready, but his opponent was stronger and faster. The young boxer was knocked down, again and again. He felt defeated, doubting his abilities. In the corner of the ring, his coach leaned in and said, "You're not losing because you're getting hit. You're losing because you're staying down." Life isn't about how hard you can hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. With those words, the young boxer found his strength. He stood up, round after round, refusing to give up. He didn't win that fight, but he won something more valuable: resilience. He kept training, kept fighting, and eventually became the champion he dreamed of. The lesson: success isn't about avoiding failure or pain. It's about getting back up every time life knocks you down and moving forward with determination. True strength lies in your ability to keep fighting, no matter how many times you get hit. An artist spent years trying to perfect his craft, constantly worrying about what others thought of his work. He was paralyzed by fear of failure and rejection. One day, he stumbled upon a quote by Anthony Hopkins: "My philosophy is, it's none of my business what people say of me and think of me. I am what I am and I do what I do." The word struck a chord. He realized he had been living his life trying to please everyone but himself. That day, he decided to let go of his fear of judgment. He started creating art for himself, embracing his imperfections and quirks. To his surprise, his work began to shine with authenticity. People noticed, not because he was perfect, but because he was real. He found success not by pleasing others, but by being true to himself. The lesson. Stop worrying about what others think. True freedom and success come when you let go of fear and embrace who you truly are. As Hopkins says, we are what we repeatedly do, so be unapologetically you. A talented musician was devastated after failing multiple auditions. Each rejection felt like another door slammed in his face. One night, he read a quote from Anthony Hopkins: "We are dying from overthinking. We are killing ourselves thinking about everything. Worrying about the future, regretting the past." Let it go. The musician realized he was trapped in his own mind, reliving failures and fearing the future. Inspired, he decided to change his approach. He stopped obsessing over every mistake and started playing music simply because he loved it. He let go of the need for approval and stopped overthinking every note. Soon, his performances were filled with passion and authenticity. Audiences felt the difference, and the doors that once seemed closed began to open. He found success not by forcing it, but by letting go and trusting his journey. The lesson. Stop overthinking and let go of the fear. When you release yourself from the burden of worry, you allow your true talent and passion to shine through. A young artist constantly doubted her work. She would paint for hours, then erase everything, convinced it wasn't good enough. One day, feeling lost, she read a simple message: stop worrying about what others think. Focus on what you love and believe in yourself. Those words hit home. She realized her biggest critic was herself, not the people around her. From that moment, she made a promise: she would create for herself first, without worrying about judgment or perfection. She let go of her fear and started painting with passion, embracing every brushstroke as part of her unique style. Soon, her art began to gain recognition, not because she changed it for others, but because she embraced it for what it was, an honest expression of herself. The lesson. Your greatest obstacle is often your own doubt. Trust in your abilities, silence the inner critic, and let your true self shine through. Success comes when you believe in the voice within. An elderly man had spent his life running marathons. Now in his late 70s, his body was frail, and doctors advised him to stop. But running was more than a sport to him, it was his connection to his late wife, who had always cheered him on from the sidelines. Every race, every step, was a way of feeling close to her. One day, he decided to run one final marathon, despite his age and health concerns. As he started, his legs felt weak, and every mile was a struggle. But he kept going, fueled by memories of his wife's voice cheering him on. Along the way, people saw his determination and started clapping, running beside him, and offering water and encouragement. With each step, he felt his wife's presence beside him, pushing him forward. As he crossed the finish line, tears streamed down his face. He wasn't the fastest, but he finished. Against all odds, he proved that love and determination could conquer anything. The lesson. Life will test you, but love, purpose, and sheer willpower can help you overcome the toughest challenges. No matter how hard it gets, keep moving forward, because you're never truly alone. A little bird with a broken wing watched as other birds flew freely. Every day, it tried to flap its wings, but the pain held it back. One morning, an old bird landed beside it and said, "You don't need perfect wings to fly. You just need the courage to try." The young bird hesitated, but it gathered all its strength, flapping its wings as hard as it could. It struggled, stumbling at first, but eventually, it lifted off the ground, soaring higher than it ever thought possible. It wasn't a perfect flight, but it was a flight nonetheless. The lesson. You don't have to be perfect to make progress. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is to take that first step, even when you feel broken. You might surprise yourself with how high you can soar. Every morning, an old man would sit on a park bench next to an empty chair, talking quietly as if someone were there. Passers-by would see him, thinking he was lonely. One day, a young woman approached him and asked, "Why do you always sit here talking to an empty chair?" With tears in his eyes, the old man smiled softly and said, "I lost my wife years ago, but this was our spot. I come here every day to talk to her. It's how I keep her memory alive." The woman's eyes welled up with tears. She realized that love doesn't end with loss, it lives on in the little things we hold on to, the rituals that keep those we love close, even when they're gone. The lesson. Cherish the moments and the memories. Love never truly leaves, it lives on in the quiet, beautiful ways we remember. A fearless leader led his soldiers to a distant land for battle. As they reached the shore, he ordered his men to burn the ships they had arrived on. Shocked, the soldiers asked, "How will we get home if we lose?" The leader replied, "There is no going back. We win, or we perish here. The only way out is forward." With no way to retreat, the soldiers fought with everything they had, pushing harder than ever before. And against all odds, they won. The lesson. Sometimes, you need to burn the ships that keep you tied to your comfort zone. When you remove the option to give up, you unlock a power within yourself that you never knew existed. There is no plan B. Commit fully, and you'll find a way to succeed. After a violent storm, the forest was littered with fallen trees. Among them, one tree stood tall, battered but unbroken. A passerby asked the tree, "How did you survive when so many around you fell?" The tree answered, "It wasn't the storm that made me strong, it was every small wind that came before it. Each gust taught me to bend, but not break. The roots I grew in times of calm are what kept me standing in the storm." The lesson. You are stronger than you think. Every challenge, every hardship has made you resilient. Remember, your roots are deep, and your strength has been built through every struggle you faced. You are unbreakable, no matter the storm. In a crowded room, a motivational speaker handed each person a balloon and a marker. "Write your name on the balloon," he said, "then release it into the room." Balloons filled the space, bouncing off walls and ceilings, creating chaos. The speaker then said, "Now, find your balloon." People scrambled, bumping into each other, stressed and frustrated. After a few minutes, he stopped them and said, "Instead of finding your own, pick up the first balloon you see and give it to the person whose name is on it." Within moments, everyone had their balloon. The speaker smiled and said, "This is life. We chase our own happiness, but if we help others find theirs, our own happiness will find us." The lesson. Sometimes, helping others find their way is the quickest path to finding your own. Imagine your life as a tree. There are 3 types of people: leaves, branches, and roots. Leaves are the ones who come and go, easily swayed by the winds of change. They're beautiful while they last, but they're not here to stay. Branches are more supportive, but when pressure comes, they can break and leave you hanging. Then there are the roots, the ones who dig deep, support you from within, and keep you grounded. They're not always visible, but they're the ones who truly matter. The lesson. Don't be disappointed when leaves fall or branches break. Instead, focus on nurturing your roots, because those are the people who will stand by you through every season of your life. A traveler, always chasing happiness, went from city to city, constantly searching for something more money, more success, more recognition. One day, he met a wise man sitting by a small, simple hut, smiling contentedly. The traveler asked, "Why are you so happy with so little? Don't you want more?" The wise man replied, "I once lived like you, always wanting more. But one day, I realized that no matter how much I gained, it never felt like enough. So, I started appreciating what I already had: the roof over my head, the food on my plate, and the people in my life." The traveler was stunned. For the first time, he understood that happiness wasn't about chasing what he didn't have, but cherishing what he did. The lesson. Happiness isn't found in wanting more. It's in appreciating the present, the simple things we often overlook. When you focus on what you have, you realize you already have enough. Listen carefully, stay away from people who act like victims in problems they've created. These are the ones who blame the world for their mistakes, who point fingers instead of taking responsibility. They drain your energy, pull you into their drama, and make you believe their struggles are your fault. Remember, you are not a rehab center for people who refuse to own up to their actions. Surround yourself with those who admit when they're wrong, who learn from their mistakes, and who take steps to change. These are the people who will uplift you, not weigh you down. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, so choose wisely. Life is too short to be dragged down by those who refuse to rise. Choose growth, choose accountability, and most importantly, choose people who take charge of their own lives. Always remember this: sometimes, kindness is not flirting, it's just kindness. Don't confuse a gentle gesture with something more. Attention is not love. Just because someone gives you their time doesn't mean they give you their heart. And tears? They are not a sign of weakness. They are a release, a strength, reminder that you are human and that you care deeply. Stop misreading signs and start valuing what they truly are. Kindness is a gift, attention is a moment, and tears are proof of your courage to feel. Don't let misunderstandings cloud your judgment. Instead, see each action for what it truly represents, and hold on to your self-worth. You are enough, with or without their kindness, attention, or approval. Stay true to who you are and remember, clarity brings peace, and peace is where your power lies. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. To peel away the layers of expectations, judgments, and fears that others have placed on you. It's easy to fit into the mold that society, family, or friends create, but the real challenge is standing tall in your own truth. It takes strength to say, "This is me," unapologetically. To embrace your flaws, your dreams, your unique path, even when it's different, even when it's misunderstood. Growing up isn't about age, it's about authenticity. It's about shedding the need for approval and stepping boldly into your own skin. Don't be afraid to disappoint those who want you to be someone else. Be afraid of never meeting the real you. The world doesn't need another copy, it needs you, your true, authentic self. So be brave, be real, and most importantly, be you. Your self-worth is determined by you. Not by someone's opinion, not by their validation, and certainly not by their approval. You don't have to wait for someone to tell you who you are, because deep down, you already know. You are not defined by likes, comments, or the fleeting words of others. Stop giving people the power to shape your value. No one sees your full journey, your struggles, your victories. You are the only one who truly understands your worth. Embrace your strengths, own your flaws, and remember, no one gets to decide who you are but you. The world will always have opinions, but you are not required to absorb them. Stand firm in your truth, and let your self-worth be an unshakable force, built from within. You are enough, today, tomorrow, and always. Nothing is impossible. Even the word itself says, "I'm possible." Every challenge, every setback, every mountain that seems too high to climb is just waiting for you to prove it wrong. It's not about how difficult the journey looks, it's about believing in your own power to overcome it. The world is filled with stories of people who turned the impossible into reality, not because they were extraordinary, but because they refused to give up. They saw obstacles not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones to something greater. So, when you're faced with a challenge, remember, the limits you see are often the ones you place on yourself. Shift your mindset from, "I can't," to, "I can," from, "It's too hard," to, "I will find a way." You are capable of far more than you think, and every time you push past what seems impossible, you redefine what's possible for you. Keep your face always toward the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and dark moments, but where you choose to focus your energy makes all the difference. When you keep your eyes on the light, on hope, positivity, and your goals, the shadows of doubt, fear, and negativity will fall away. It's not about pretending the shadows don't exist, it's about choosing not to let them control your journey. Look forward, not back. Find the light in every situation, even when it's hard to see. It's there, guiding you, waiting for you to embrace it. Remember, the sun is always shining above the clouds. Keep moving forward, keep your heart open, and let the warmth of your dreams light your path. The more you focus on the good, the brighter your life becomes. Embrace the struggle, because the struggle is where you grow. It's not the easy days that define you, but the hard ones. The moments when you feel like giving up, when everything seems to be against you, those are the moments that build your strength. Success isn't handed to you, it's earned through perseverance, through every late night, every failure, and every ounce of effort you put in when no one's watching. Remember, diamonds are formed under pressure, and so are you. Don't shy away from the difficult times. Face them, learn from them, and use them as fuel. Each challenge is a stepping stone, not a barrier. Keep moving forward, because on the other side of struggle is the person you were meant to become. Your life is your story, and you are the author. Don't let anyone else hold the pen. There will always be people who doubt you, who try to write your narrative for you, telling you what you can or cannot do. But the truth is, only you know your potential, your dreams, and your path. Life will throw plot twists your way, some that you never expected. But remember, every setback is just a chapter, not the whole book. Don't let one bad page define your entire story. You have the power to turn things around, to rewrite your future, and to make your dreams the ending you've always wanted. So pick up the pen, write fiercely, and never let anyone dim the ink of your ambitions. Your story is yours to tell, make it a masterpiece. You are more powerful than you think. Too often, we let fear, doubt, and the opinions of others hold us back. But the truth is, you have everything you need within you to succeed. Strength doesn't come from what you can do easily, it comes from pushing through the hard stuff, from standing up after every fall, and from believing in yourself when no one else does. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to prove to yourself just how strong you are. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, or someone else's approval. You already have what it takes. Trust your journey, keep moving forward, and remember, you are capable of far more than you could ever imagine. Stop waiting for tomorrow. Stop waiting for the right time, the perfect conditions, or for everything to fall into place. The truth is, there will never be a perfect moment. If you keep waiting, you'll let opportunities pass you by. Success isn't about luck or timing, it's about taking action, right now, with what you have. Every great achievement starts with that first step, even when you're scared, uncertain, or unprepared. Don't let fear of failure stop you from moving forward. Start today, start messy, start without all the answers, but just start. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple: action. So, get up, take that step, and make your dreams happen. You are your only limit. The obstacles in your way are not the problem, it's the excuses, the fears, and the doubts you let hold you back. Every time you say, "I can't," you build a wall between you and your dreams. But here's the truth, those walls are only as strong as you let them be. Stop waiting for someone to give you permission to succeed. You don't need it. You are capable of more than you think, and the only person standing in your way is you. Tear down the barriers, silence the inner critic, and take that leap. Success isn't about waiting for the right moment, it's about creating it. You have the power to change your story, so go out there and own it. You are the hero of your own story. Every day, you have the chance to rewrite your narrative. It doesn't matter where you started or what obstacles you faced, what matters is what you do next. Heroes aren't born, they're made through challenges, perseverance, and the courage to keep going when things get tough. You will face setbacks, you will hear doubters, and there will be times when you feel like giving up. But remember this, every great story has its battles, and every hero faces moments of doubt. What sets you apart is your decision to keep fighting, to keep moving forward, no matter what. You hold the pen to your life. Write a story that you'll be proud of, one filled with resilience, courage, and triumph. The world is waiting to see what kind of hero you'll become. Don't be afraid to fail. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of the journey. Every great achievement is built on a pile of mistakes, rejections, and setbacks. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple: they didn't give up. They failed forward. When you stumble, when things don't go as planned, don't see it as the end. See it as a lesson, a step closer to where you want to be. The road to success isn't a straight line, it's filled with twists, turns, and yes, failures. Embrace them, learn from them, and keep moving. Remember, every failure is a sign that you're trying, and every attempt gets you closer to your goal. Keep going. Your success story is still being written. You are one decision away from a completely different life. Every day, you have the power to choose, to take a chance, to make a change, to step out of your comfort zone. It's not the big moments that define us, but the small decisions we make every day. Decide to push a little harder when you feel like giving up. Decide to keep going when the world tells you to quit. The path to success isn't about waiting for the perfect opportunity, it's about creating it with every choice you make. You are in control. Your next decision could be the one that changes everything. So, choose courage over fear, action over hesitation, and progress over perfection. Your future is built one decision at a time. If you're seeing this, maybe you need it, a reminder that you are stronger than you think. Life has a way of testing us, pushing us to the edge, and making us question our worth. But remember, every storm you've faced has prepared you for this moment. You didn't come this far to only come this far. When you feel like you're at your limit, that's when your true strength kicks in. Don't let today's challenges make you forget all the battles you've already won. You are capable, you are resilient, and you have the power to keep moving forward, so take a deep breath, pick yourself up, and keep going. You're not done yet, and your story isn't over. This is just the beginning. Just because you fit in doesn't mean you belong there. It's easy to mold yourself to fit into places, groups, or situations that aren't right for you, just to feel accepted. But fitting in at the cost of your true self isn't worth it. You were made to stand out, to be different, and to bring something unique to the table. Don't force yourself into spaces that don't appreciate your value. Don't settle for being tolerated when you deserve to be celebrated. The right environment will lift you up, not hold you back. So, find the place where you belong, where you can grow, shine, and be unapologetically you. Remember, it's better to be authentic and misunderstood than to fit in and lose who you are. You deserve more than just fitting in, you deserve to belong. Once, there was a stonecutter who worked tirelessly, chipping away at a massive rock. Day after day, he struck the stone, but it didn't seem to change. No matter how hard he worked, the stone remained the same. Frustrated, he wondered if his efforts would ever make a difference. But he kept going. On the 100th strike, the stone suddenly split in two. Amazed, the stonecutter realized it wasn't the last strike that did it. It was all the strikes before that made the difference. The stonecutter learned that progress isn't always visible right away, but persistence is the key to breaking through obstacles. Every effort counts, even when results seem far away.